Hi guys. I'm here and my camera is fully charged, so I guess we're ready to go. Before I go into the topic, there's a couple things I want to go over. One is a disclaimer. Of course, you got to have those right. I am not a medical professional. Nothing shared on this channel should be constituted as medical advice. And I highly recommend that you consult a medical professional before beginning any type of fast. If you choose to fast without consulting a medical professional before you do a fast, you do so at your own risk. And the other thing is, I'm not going to allow any negativity on this channel in the form of comments. So, you can comment information, any questions you have, suggestions and ideas, personal experiences, concerns. Most definitely you can comment encouragement, but I will not tolerate arguing. I will not tolerate personal attacks on someone else, and I will not tolerate bashing someone else's choice of how they live their life and what foods they decide to eat or not eat. And I can do that because it's my channel. And I have no problem deleting comments, people, or blocking. I don't have any issue with that. So if you like me, you like me. If you don't, you don't. And feel free to leave and never watch another one of my videos. So there you go. All right. Okay, so let me, since when I saw that my battery was running low yesterday, it kind of threw me off track, and I didn't get to finish everything I wanted to finish, and so I want to start out doing that. So another reason that I was trying to look for natural things, like just in what I eat, was because I didn't want to, another thing I didn't want to have to do is take supplemental pills or powders for the rest of my life either. It's like, well, here's this diet pill that works wonders, or this powder or whatever, and I'm like, I'm not saying that those things don't work wonders, but my two concerns were, one, the cost was always like, yeah, you know how much food I could buy with a 1 month supply of this stuff, and what happens when I reach my goal, whatever my goals may be, and I quit taking that stuff? What happens? Is everything going to be undone? And I'm not saying that those are even real issues. Maybe I'm assuming something or fearful of something that doesn't even exist. So if you do those things and they're working for you and you've reached goal, and whatever happens from there, awesome for you. It just, for me personally, was not something that I wanted to do. Okay, so I had gotten to a level of, I thought it was high stress, and it probably was that too. But the pain level got so bad, I was like, I help my sister, my oldest sister, take care of our mom. And it just got to a point where I was like, I have to, my physical stuff is getting worse and worse. I've got to have some days that I just do me. So, like, okay, I'm gonna do a week where I'm not going anywhere. I'm just gonna stay home and just chill and do some inner work and just relaxing stuff. And then I was like, wait, because when I heard about the 7-day water fast, I was like, because one of the there's different views on that too. So one view is keep doing your workouts and whatever and stay busy because it'll help you get through those hunger times. And then the other point of view was during the 7 days you need to be in into the least stressful environment that you can be in, and be where you can just not do anything for those 7 days. Get up and go to the bathroom. That's pretty much it. So I was like, because I was like, when am I ever going to have 7 days in a row to do nothing? So after I'm like, I've got to have a few days to myself. I was like, oh my gosh, here's my chance. I'm going to have 7 days in a row where I can do this. So like I told you guys, the first day was great until about 7 p.m. and then it was rough. And then the next morning, I went to I'm like, I can't do 7 days of water. My heart started, my blood pressure went up, which might be normal, I don't know. My pulse went up. The palpitations that I've been having increased. So I just went to the intermittent fasting kind of stuff. So like, the second day, I had small meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, but they were very small meals. I didn't eat anything in between. And then the third day, I fasted breakfast and ate a small lunch and dinner. And today I'm doing the same thing. I fasted breakfast and I just ate lunch, and then I will eat dinner tonight. Small meals, nothing in between except water. So that's where I am right now. I check my blood sugar every day. I check my blood pressure and pulse every day. On the first day, I put down what my weight was and all my measurements. I'm not taking that again until I reach where I want to be for my blood sugar and my blood pressure, because I'm not concerned with that. I know some people fast strictly for weight loss. I couldn't care less about what my weight is. I know people that are bigger than I that don't have the health issues that I have. And I know people that are, thin that have been on medication for high blood pressure and high cholesterol since they were in their early 20s. So, like I said, weight is a byproduct of what this is going to do. So I just wrote it down so that at the end of everything I can have more for statistics. This is what happened. So that's where I am currently. Okay, so, what is fasting? Well, people are going to go, duh, right? It's basically any time you aren't eating. So if all you have is breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and you don't eat anything in between, then you're fasting between those 3 meals. So there's 2 major distinctions in fasting. You have intermittent, and then you have extended. And within those are several ways. Like, you've got liquid only, water only, a dry, which is not only no food, but it's also no water. And even within that, there's, you don't have food or water. And then another one goes even further where you have no contact with water. You don't brush your teeth. You don't take a shower or a bath. And I'm not going to do that one. There's a time controlled where there's different spaces of time that you can do where you go like this many hours without eating and then this many hours of eating, and there's all different kinds of hours that you can put together there. And there's food elimination fastings. So there's all different kinds, which we will get into more detail as the videos go along. So why do people fast? Religion, I don't personally know of a religion that does not have fasting in it. If you do, comment below. That would be cool. I can learn something. Some people do it strictly for weight loss, which it absolutely is going to do that. You have to understand that a lot of that at first is going to be water. And if you do the fasting until you reach whatever weight you want to be, if you go back to just eating like you did before, it's all going to come back and maybe even more. So something to be aware of and to plan for, to work that out so that doesn't happen to you. Some people fast just for cleansing. Some people are and for overall health. I mean, some people are lean and have no health issues. They are active, but still, like once a year, at least once or twice a year, they will do a fast as a cleansing. Get rid of toxins. And normally they do a water fast or a dry fast for that, and how many days just really depends on you. But no matter how much organic food that you eat, and non-processed foods, in today's world, we cannot get away from toxins. It's just there. Whether you believe about the chemtrails and stuff, that's all those chemicals that are falling down on top of our plants and our animals and the ground, and or if it's just simply the pesticides that they're spraying on the crops, and then that gets down into the ground, and again that gets down into the water system, and then our animals are drinking that water and eating that grass that has that stuff on it. So I just don't believe that organic exists today unless you're growing it yourself and using filtered water. And if you're raising animals, if you're giving them filtered water and organic grass that you made yourself, I just don't believe that in today's world that's really possible. So whether you're breathing it in, drinking it, eating it, wearing it, there's toxins everywhere nowadays. So if you are one of those people that has no health issues and you don't want to lose any weight, I still would recommend checking with your doctor first, doing one at least once a year just to get toxins out, give your organs a break. So what are the benefits of fasting? Some of this stuff was pretty amazing for me. Let me get to that page. Okay, this is a long list. You ready? Metabolic syndrome, which includes diabetes, and a whole lot of other stuff. You can research that on your own. Chronic inflammatory conditions, autoimmune diseases, gut health issues, neurodegenerative conditions, cancer, heart disease, liver disease. It helps with I don't know if you've ever experienced this, but like you lose a lot of weight and then you have all this extra skin. If you do it with fasting, however you decide to, if you want to add something else to fasting for weight loss, because of how it renews everything and breaks down stuff you don't need. If you're doing fasting, it will use up that excess skin that you have, so you won't end up with all the skin hanging there. It stimulates fat burning, of course. It improves your energy level. It reduces inflammation. It takes stress off the digestive system. It stimulates cellular autophagy, which I will go over that. It improves genetic repair mechanisms, which I will go over that. It stimulates the development of stem cells. I will also go over that. It improves insulin sensitivity. It reduces chronic disease risk. You get an improved relationship with food, which I talked about yesterday. The healthier foods will start tasting much better, and the unhealthy stuff that we used to eat all the time and we're like addicted to, which is true. When you cut that out of your diet and then if you eat it again, it just doesn't taste good. It's like all you can taste are chemicals. You get enhanced mental health because it helps the brain grow new neurons. It's also anti-aging. I mean, who wants to spend hundreds and thousands of dollars on anti-aging cream and whatever? It's like, let's just do it naturally. You know, let's drink some more good water and cut out all the processed crap and have a lot less sugar than we eat. Let's see. So, some of the stuff that I went over. Okay, so according to Dr. David Jockers, which the link, there's going to be a bunch of links in the description. Sorry guys, but if you want this stuff, and you can look it up yourself, and maybe that'll, if you haven't researched this out, maybe it'll be the beginning, and then you can go from there and discover your own new things. Okay, so autophagy, auto, right, and then phagy. So basically, the straight up, clear definition is self-eating. So your cells are always, as they get used, they sometimes they get damaged, and then they just get old, and so your body breaks those down, and then your body's always making new cells. So when you do fasting, it just helps increase that process and makes it more efficient. Okay, so these three things, Dr. Jockers says: autophagy, human growth, hormone production, and stem cell generation, and all those things allow the body to heal older cells, tissues, and organs. So it's like, you know, you may have a fatty liver now, but if you start fasting and eating healthier, and that really is a definition for you to decide when you do your research, then autophagy, and then so autophagy helps with preventing diseases such as cancer, cardiomyopathy, diabetes, liver disease, infections, autoimmune diseases, and then the neurodegeneration. Okay, so the human growth hormone, what it does is it helps with cell regeneration, growth, and the maintaining of healthy human tissue, your heart, your organs, your skin. And then the stem cell generation, stem cells repair and replace worn out or damaged tissue. So this, when you fast, you are generating more stem cells. And all this stuff's going to have links in the description box. Let's see. Another reason why people fast is if they're trying to heal specific health issues. Okay, so I've told you the pros of fasting. Plus, it's going to save you a lot of money on your grocery bill. So what are the cons? You know, and I only found 4, and only one of them has to do with health. Everything else is just like, you know, things that might make it difficult. So cons: it may be hard to stick with long term. Some people don't do it long term. Some people, when they reach whatever goal they have, they don't do that anymore, and they may do it like, you know, once a week. They may do an intermittent fasting or a day of fasting. And I guess I can only speak for myself. I have yet to be able to do any change in my, you know, westernized diet long term. So there's that. It may affect your social life, because when, you know, people are saying, hey, let's all get together and go out and eat, and it's your day of, you know, gosh, they want to get together for lunch, and you're doing a 24-hour fast where you're eating dinner to dinner. You know, you eat dinner and then you don't eat again until the next day's dinner. the great thing about probably all the different diets and different ways of that you can live for health, which I did not really realize before, is flexibility. You know, I tend to, everything's in stone, everything's black and white, and it's like, if this diet says this is what you should eat and this is what you shouldn't eat, and I just would stick to it, but I could never stick to it long term because that wasn't anything that I wanted to do long term. You know, you just go into it going, oh yeah, I can do that, and then, 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 3 months in, it's like, I'm so done with this. I miss this other stuff. So I just throw the baby out with the bathwater instead of going, you know what, I'm pretty sure that it'd be okay if I ate that thing that it says not to eat here and there, and then just go back to whatever. So another thing is there is a moderate dropout rate, to which my response is, tell me a diet that doesn't have that. Again, flexibility, flexibility, flexibility. There are so many different ways you can do this, and you can change it up. You don't have to say, okay, I like this one best, so that's what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. It's like, I want to do an alternate day. I want to fast this day and eat the next day, and you know what? Now I want to do where I eat, healthy, but eat what I want, however many meals I want, 5 days a week, and 2 days a week I'm going to just do 500 or 600 calories or less. You can change it up. It doesn't have to be the same thing all the time. And then the last con is that some people end up with unhealthy LDL levels. And there's two things. It's like, one, what are you eating when you're not fasting? If you're just eating tons of sugar and processed food, then even if you weren't fasting, you're going to have unhealthy LDL levels. And another thing is, I forgot to get this before I started taping, so I will find it and put it in the description box. There's a man, and I don't know, I'm not even really sure what his specialty is. Seems like he's an engineer or something. But he, from what I have heard, engineer minds are very analytical and mathematical, and so anyway, he did some personal research on his own body, doing different things and going and getting lab work done over and over and over. So I will find that video because it might be something you might want to watch regarding LDL levels. Okay, so who shouldn't fast? Obviously anybody with an eating disorder. If you're already not eating, because of anorexia, then you don't want to fast because you would tend to not ever eat. It would just give you another reason to not eat. So if you have an eating disorder, don't fast. If you're pregnant or nursing, don't fast. And again, I recommend everyone to check with your doctor before starting any of the different fasts. Okay, so does it matter what foods I eat while not fasting? So, of course you want to eat as clean as possible, which means as little amount of processed stuff, and even though somebody may grow organic fruits and vegetables, even though it may still be getting some type of stuff that's not good for us just because of what's in our atmosphere and what's in our water now, it's still going to be less than the fruits and veggies that have been heavily sprayed with the pesticide, plus all the stuff it's getting just from the atmosphere. So, try to eat as clean as you can, and as low sugar as you can. So, and now here's all these different diets, right? So, and I'm just listing a very, very small amount of what I found. Like, I've never heard of 90% of this stuff, and I'm just not going to go over it. People can research that themselves. So, we've got ketogenic and carnivore, paleo, healthy keto with Dr. Eric Berg, B-E-R-G. You can find him on YouTube also. Vegetarian, vegan, gluten-free, anti-inflammatory foods, clean, Mediterranean, calorie-based, macronutrient-based, raw foods, blood type, South Beach, the 5-2 diet, Weight Watchers, Jenny Craig, low fat, the Zone, HCG diet, the DASH diet, the low FODMAP, which is fermented carbs, intuitive eating, and then there's everything in moderation diet, right? So we will go over all that in later videos. I will go into detail on all this stuff. So you can decide and do your own research what you want to eat and not eat. And some people don't even, I'll get into that later too. So anyway, okay. So if there's another diet that you know of or that you do that you would like included in a future video, comment below and I'll put that on there. So I think all that's left is, let me just make sure. I know I should be more prepared or learn how to edit videos. Maybe someday. Okay, so I just want to encourage you guys to research all sides of something, whether it's a specific kind of diet or specific kind of fasting. If you don't know anything, then you're going to research both sides and find out who's saying good things about it and who's saying negative things about it. If it's something that you already feel like you know, but you've never, and you believed it, because I tell you what, I have watched so many videos and read so many articles, and every one of them make total sense, even though they're representing opposite sides of something. For me, I had to, it just came down to experimentation. It's like all of our bodies are different. They're the same, but they're different. And but sometimes, like when I first started doing all this research, I would read something and it would make perfect sense and I would go completely that way, and I wouldn't even bother to look up anything that said something opposite of that, because I was so convinced, because their arguments are so good, that the way I had found first was the best way to do it. I have since learned, it's like, okay, so let me keep an open mind and look at both sides, and then let me experiment and see, because there have been many times that while my mind totally agreed with something, I'm like, okay, that's it, that's right. When I tried it, my body was like, no, not for you, not for me. I'm not going to respond the way you think I'm going to, because you read this article or watched this video. So I encourage you to research all sides, and don't be afraid to experiment, because sometimes we know what works and doesn't work, and sometimes we don't. Sometimes there's so many different options of what it could be. You have to do kind of a process of elimination. And I want to encourage you that you can do this. People have been fasting for thousands of years for all different kinds of reasons, and it's always had awesome results. I can't say always. I mean, there are people out there that may have an issue or go overboard with it, don't keep track of their numbers. But people have been doing fasting a whole lot longer than any of the other diets out there. And I'm not saying fasting is a diet, you know. And remember, fasting is so flexible, and it is free. Free. Pretty awesome. Okay, so, future videos, let's see, intermittent fasting ways, the calorie deception, fasting strategies for metabolic health, calories versus hormones, the definition, pros and cons of each of the diets that I listed, what constitutes breaking a fast, do you lose protein, muscle mass, what if I stop losing weight while I'm fasting, what about when I reach my desired results, where do I go from here, different ways to do the extended fasting, is it what you eat, when you eat, or both? And then eventually, as you guys post comments, if you've got, you post your experiences and you've been doing this and this is what it's done for you, and if you're within, a fairly close proximity, I'll go to Arkansas and Kansas because I know people in those two states. Ohio, I'll go to Ohio too. But I would love to come and interview you and video it and put it on here just for encouragement for people to see that it does work and what we can learn from you. Because, if somebody's been doing fasting and they have reached their desired goals, then I'm assuming you're gonna know some ins and outs and some crappy information that's out there and that you can warn us about. So anyway, I think that's it for today. If you have ideas for future videos, comment that down there, and I'll do the research on that, and because eventually I'm thinking I'm gonna run out of stuff to talk about with fasting, maybe, and of course I will keep you updated on my progress. I'm not going to share my numbers with you, but hopefully with you guys, I will be able to, with your guys' help, I will be able to reach my desired goals. How I do it may change along the way, because I'm just starting this, so I'm going to be finding out what works for me and what doesn't, and what I can do, what I can keep doing until I reach my goals, and what I tried that, and there's like I can't do a 7-day water fast. Maybe someday I'll be able to do that. Maybe someday I'll be able to do a 3-day dry fast.